Hello, my name is Sheila Trecartin of Ultimate Healing Concepts. I focus mainly in my work on working with people and animals to provide holistic services, but I also offer animal communication, mediumship, and intuitive business consulting. Today I wanted to talk to you about how the universe communicates to us in different ways. Now, the universe will use all tools possible in order to be able to communicate with us or deliver the messages to us. They will often use license plates, billboards, numbers, a sequence of repeated numbers, and sometimes they deliver messages through other people. So when we call someone an earth angel because they've helped us or they've delivered some valuable information to us, then that is the universe working through those individuals to assist us. Another way that the universe communicates with us is through symbols, and you can find these symbols everywhere. Now, if you have a great imagination, you may see these symbols in very unique spots, in designs on a floor pattern or in nature. But when you start to develop a key understanding of how the universe is communicating with you, you will see these messages all of the time. One of the things I love is that the universe often utilizes animals to communicate with us, and they use animals as messengers. It is very honoring to be able to receive these types of messages through the animals. Now, if you pay attention, you can possibly see animals as a message for you in sequence. Now, what I mean by that is sometimes we will see an animal and we will see it or hear about it repeatedly. For example, if you saw several butterflies in a sequence of days that were very close together, and not only did you see the butterflies, but you all of a sudden noticed that you were hearing a lot of stories about butterflies, or people were talking to you about butterflies over and over. You could possibly receive an email that contained the photo or a story of a butterfly. You could also experience butterfly by someone giving you a gift of a butterfly, or having the butterfly on a card or in the wrapping paper. And as you can see, when we have that sequence of that appearance of the butterfly over and over, then what happens is we start to realize that butterfly is actually trying to get a message across to us. This is a way for the universe to communicate with us. So if we look up the spiritual meaning of the butterfly, then we could understand the message that's being related to us. When you look up the spiritual meaning of butterfly, you will find that butterfly means joy achieved through transformation, or with change comes joy. So that's a great symbol to get and a great message to get from the universe. We would all love to have that. We would all love to hear that, oh, change is coming and some good things are coming too. So not to be worried or not to be fearful that everything is going to be okay. Now, let's not confuse this with when loved ones come through as animals or as different types of insects, birds, what have you. We want to realize that this is different because this is a sequence of a reappearing animal coming into your life through a series of different forms or a sequence of a number of times. When you see or you have the opportunity to see live animals and they come in repetition, that's another way for you to receive that message. But if you don't live in an area where you would see an animal, for example, where I live, we have deer and coyote, and we have a number of different types of beautiful birds. And so if I see those animals in sequence, I'll know that they're trying to get a message to me. However, if I don't live in an area where there is a deer or where there are coyotes, or the possibility of seeing them in the physical form, that doesn't mean that those animals won't be used as messengers to try to get a message across to me. It simply means the universe will get creative and find a different way to deliver you that message. Now, if you're wondering, when I mentioned that they often come in a sequence of events. Well, there is another way that sometimes they do come, and that is through an unusual occurrence. For example, at one time, just not too long ago, I was driving down the highway, a secondary highway, going from my home to my work, and all of a sudden, I felt the urge to turn my head to the right. And in the middle of a farmer's field, in the middle of the day, was a lone coyote standing in the middle of the field. And as I drove by, we locked eyes, and he followed me, and my gaze followed him, as long as we were in each other's sight. And I could feel deep inside me that that was a message from the universe. So although I didn't see the sequence of the coyote a number of times, I had that one unusual or one unique experience, that one profound experience that stood out to me. And I knew that was a message from the universe. And consequently, the coyote means that we need to balance work and play. And of course, at that time, I was overworking myself, and I wasn't having a lot of fun in my life on my off time. So I heeded that message from the universe, and I worked to balance out my life a little bit more. And the coyote came a few more times to remind me, but eventually I stopped getting that message because I learned that lesson. I got the message. I went through the sequence that helped me to identify what that meant, and I applied it to my life. So once we gather that information and we get the message from the animals, then they will no longer appear. This is just a little bit of tidbit of information, hopefully that will help you in your life and help you to work with your guides and your angels and the animals more to get the messages that the universe have for you. There is a couple different ways that you can look up those messages when it comes to them delivering them through the animals. One way is just by looking online and just searching spiritual meaning of and whatever animal it is. And another way is that there are two wonderful authors, Ted Andrews, who is unfortunately no longer with us on this planet, but who was the forerunner in understanding animals as messengers, and also Stephen Farmer, who is a really lovely soul. Both of these individuals have books that will help you to identify the meanings of the animals as messengers. Animals can also be our totems, and they can be our life totems, meaning that they are guides for us in our lifetime. But that's a whole other topic for another time, so we won't delve into that today. But I hope that understanding and becoming aware that the animals are messengers for us helps to enlighten your life and brings you some more comfort as you move through the challenges that we face and the joys that we face in our everyday existence. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a peaceful, wonderful, light-filled day.